the weather forecast was right, and we're in for a good sunset. So I'm off to Southport. I left work about half an hour early so I could get my kit together and get there as quick as I could. But on my way home, the coolant light flashed up on the dashboard. So I had some ready-made, fortunately, in the garage, so I've gone to get it, and in my eagerness to get out as quickly as I can, what have I done? I've only gone and put coolant in the brake fluid reservoir. So anyway, I called the garage, rung good old Chris, and asked him what's the chances of me killing myself on the way to Southport, having done what I've just done. Anyway, he taught me a valuable lesson, and that is that in situations such as these, turkey basters are invaluable. You just suck it right out. I'll see you in Southport. So, I'm here. Now my run of bad luck continues so far. I was doing my blog in the car, and the battery ran out on my G7. Anyway, fortunately, or I say fortunately, I had a second one which came today, and me being the type that doesn't like to spend a lot of money on a frequent basis, I got a cheap one, didn't I? And of course the camera doesn't like it, so I have no idea how long it's going to last. But the notification on the back of the camera when I put it in assured me that it wasn't a good idea, but hey ho, seems to be working, so I'm going to go with it. So as you can see, I've got a photo vest on, and I know that's a little bit 80s, but bear with me. In situations such as this, if you've ever been to Southport, it's really muddy. There's no way, well, actually I say there's no way, it has actually changed a little bit. There didn't used to be opportunities to put your bag down, but since I was last here, there are some tussocks of grass that you can use. But anyway, it is a muddy environment, and I wouldn't advise bringing camera bags, they just get wrecked. So, I'm slipping all over. So I've just got the camera on a tripod, photo vest, pockets full of gear, and I'm heading for, I hope, a little channel, if I can find it, to shoot the pier at sunset. So I'm going to cut you off now, because I don't know how long the battery's going to last, and hopefully catch up with you when I find my spot. So I found my location, found a little channel that I want to shoot along, and it leads directly to the pier itself. I reckon I've got about 15-20 minutes before we get to some nice light. Just adjust that down, see me. So I'm slipping and sliding all over the place, which proves my point exactly. All the tripod legs are just completely covered in mud. It really isn't a good environment for a camera. I'm going to shoot with mirror lockup and a remote cable release. I don't think there's really any issues with steadiness, it's more a case of just good practice really. Filters. At the moment it's quite bright, the sky's a lot brighter than the mud, but when it drops a little bit, it's going to be about 2 stops difference, I expect. It's normally what's the case with sunsets, around about the time when the light is good for shooting. So I'm going to put a Lee 0.6 neutral density filter on. two ways you can set your filters. You can either use the depth of field preview button, which is not always present on a lot of cameras. It's usually situated on Canons just to the right of the lens at the front. Or you can use live view. And with live view, you can turn the camera on and just drop the filter down, and you'll be able to see where the transition line is and set it correctly on the horizon. Because what tends to happen, especially with hard edge grads, is if you don't get the line right and you say stop down to f22, the line can be in the wrong place, because when you view through the actual camera, when you're looking through a single lens reflex camera, you're looking at the lens at its widest aperture, so you don't always see where the transition line is. So using the depth of field preview and in combination with, or as well as live view, you can check where the transition is. And the best way of doing that is to move the filter up and down reasonably quickly but smoothly, and you can get a real good eye for where the actual transition line is. So I'm going to set the shot up and catch up with you in a minute. The sun's dropping really nicely. I couldn't have planned it better actually, in spite of all the cock-ups that I had earlier on. I think he needs a silencer on that. Yeah, the sun, couldn't have planned it better. It's actually dropping right at the end of the pier. I've been here before and done this before, and it's fallen sort of in the middle of the pier, but this is just fantastic really. Got a lovely lead in with this nice bit of a stream in front of me, and I'm not sure if these things shift or whether it is the same one that I've shot before. It looks different, but then I suppose there's so many channels and rivulets around here, you never know whether you stood at the same one or not, but it's got a lovely curve to it, and it just takes the viewer straight into the picture, right to the pier and the setting sun. The only thing that I will say that's a bit of a disappointment is that I could have done with some nicer clouds. There's a bit of wispy stuff, it might colour up, but on the whole it does let it down slightly, but I'm not deterred by that. Everything else is just magic. It's just a case of keep shooting now and bagging as many as I can as the sun goes down, and then getting back and picking whichever looks best on the monitor. Really happy, well worth the effort. Just one thing before I forget, if you've enjoyed today's video, please subscribe and like. It really does mean a lot, and encourages me to make more videos for the future. See you all soon.